notification on your screen that we're recording.
Yep.
Okay, so welcome everybody to Monsters of Islay, the series. This is part 2. So tonight we got Eddie and we got Travis. They're going to take us head to head through some Kilchoman and some Octomore. So we go and get our smoke on tonight. So Eddie, Travis, you've been chatting away. Say hi, boys.
What's up,
Hi, boys.
What's up, man?
So yeah, we're gonna get into some delicious smoky whiskeys. Well, I mean, you guys are. I'm not. I'm into the Knob Creek again. Holla for the knob. But yeah, let's get things started here. We got some delicious whiskeys to get into, so let's bump it right over to my man Travis here with the surprise whiskey of the evening. The UK exclusive bourbon single cask, Kilchoman. Travis, go.
Yeah, so like I said, very surprised on this one. I wasn't aware this is what it was. So this will be the first time I'm having it and enjoying it with the rest of everybody else. But quick look at it. I guess this was a comparison cask that they did exclusive for the UK market. They put out 2 casks a few years back, or I guess just last year, where they took basically the same cask type, same age, and put it next to 2 different types of barley. The first one was their 100% Islay barley, which is a typically peated to 20 ppm from barley that they grow and harvest and straight from the farm, straight all the way through the bottling. They do everything right there on site. This one, from what I saw, is their Port Ellen malting, so it's the higher 50 ppm that they use for all their other expressions outside that 100% Islay. I don't know, what we say is 2012 to 21, so 10-ish years or whatever that works out to be. 8 years, that works out to be.
Eight.
Oh shit, we got to do some math tonight.
I thought we were drinking, not taking tests here. But so yeah, I really don't know a whole lot about it outside of what I just kind of gave to you. I got a quick glance after discovering that about 10 minutes ago. That's what we're enjoying. It's got that, personally, I love young Kilchoman. My sweet spot that I like is anywhere from 4 or 5 years to 8, 9 years, 10. You won't go wrong, obviously. It's just, I really like that a little bit of the, it's a little more, I wouldn't say rough around the edges, but as you get older, there's a few casks that they're starting to get into there's some 14s and 15s. Hopefully we'll see some other stuff. And if you've ever done again, just 2 bourbon casks side by side, a 6-year or even an 8-year and a 14-year, the 14 years, it's so much more, it's softer, it's rounder. It really opens up some of those citrus and tropical fruit notes. Where this, you get that, but it's a little bit more crisp and sharp, in my opinion, on these younger ones. It has all the classical makeup of a Kilchoman for me on the nose. Is there anybody else here familiar with Kilchoman at all, or kind of here and there?
Yeah, I can chuck in an addition because I was just drinking 2 other Kilchoman bottlings. One is a 10-year-old from Specs, and it's a bourbon exclusive, 55.3%, so really close in the alcohol percentage. And then the other one that I was tasting is the 10th anniversary edition from 2015, and there's a distinctive difference in the way that this single cask smells between those other 2. The 10-year anniversary has this buttery quality to the nose that I recognize in this single cask also, whereas that Specs 10-year single cask has more of like a floral kind of overtone to the nose. Like it was, putting them side by side, it was like night and day difference between them. So this is definitely on that more like buttery spirit than the heather kind of lily floral type of a deal.
Awesome. So Reggie, you're familiar with Kilchoman. What are your thoughts on this at all?
I think Reggie's muted.
Yeah, not to put you on the spot there, Reg.
I don't know. I can't speak as eloquently as you guys. I actually had COVID like a month and a half ago, so I'm still a little bit unrefined. But this one's, I'm not getting quite the same Kilchoman character I would get from like some of the other ones. So maybe it's just me. Yeah, I'm getting a little more, I don't say like sweetness on it, but maybe it's
I was
just
gonna say, I don't know. I'm getting a little bit of licorice from the nose.
yeah, I can't place that.
There's definitely like that earth, like sawgrass, I want to say, that very grassy smell, but I'm also getting that sweetness of again, the licorice, maybe even like a dark
With the anise, yeah.
This
Yeah.
this one is showing some menthol now that I've
Yes.
had a couple flavors or a couple
Yeah,
tastes
I
around it.
agree.
I don't remember typically getting a whole lot of menthol on Kilchoman. Do you guys? Travis, or?
Not a lot.
No,
but I have
definitely
had
not.
it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's what's throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, there's something unique about this one.
That's why Travis picked it.
Mike, when you had that slide up earlier of this particular cast, did it say what type of barley they used? I mean, outside it being malted at Port Ellen.
I did not didn't find any information about the barley on this one. This was the only one of the three that listed the ppm, and it was 50 ppm.
Yeah, let's see here.
Yeah, unless it's a 100% Islay, it's going to be, or one of the few that are not
The limited editions.
necessarily, yeah, not necessarily
Yeah.
marked that way. It's going to be 50 ppm.
It has like that sweetness in the palate. I think I'm hearing echo. A pear maybe, or a fig. Definitely
Yeah,
getting more mint at the back end.
I'm getting that there's like not quite yet ripe pear on the palate.
Mhm.
Like fresh. Have you ever had the awful fruit marshmallows that have
Yes.
like there's a slight note of that, but not in the bad way that the marshmallows taste. It just kind of reminds me of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can't find what type of barley. I don't see it. If it's mentioned, it's not mentioned where I'm seeing it.
I wonder if like Abbey whiskey or I'm trying to think of the other ones that I know sold this. Maybe Whiskey World. They might have it, on their web store listing, because I know there was a ton of information about this comparison set when it first hit. Because I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I would love stuff like this.
Right. Yeah, they did the other comparison where I think this one's just the same barley, but like you said, different phenol ppm levels, or however you said it, phenol.
Phenol,
you
you got it.
Like you said, the 50 to 20, 100%, their standard. There was that other comparison series where they took the exact same concept, but then they paired it against two different barley types or strains. They did that with the Concerto and what was the other one they used?
Optic?
What was it? Diablo?
I'd have to look, but yeah, I'd never got a chance to try those side by side either. I'd be curious how those compare, because those, I think they went, same peating levels, same everything, just two totally different types of barley. So everybody's thoughts on this? Enjoyable, hit or miss?
Very different from the nose to the palate, I thought.
Yes.
What about any newbies to Kilchoman? What are your thoughts on it? If there's any, novice drinkers.
We're all novices compared to you, Travis. So I think this is a fun dram because it changes so much. Like I love those roller coasters, so I like it. It's definitely not my favorite Kilchoman of all time, but I actually like how much it changes from the nose to the front palate, mid palate to the finish. I mean, it's different at all four levels to me. So I think that's fun about it.
For me, it's quite different between the nose and the palate. And when I nose it again, I got almost complete opposite of my first nosing. I get a little bit of leather right now.
I want to add a little bit of water to this and see what it does. Nice. I thought I had some water over here somewhere.
Yeah, I will say I agree with Nando. Definitely not my favorite Kilchoman that I've had. It's good. It's great. It's fun whiskey. I don't even know if it's something that I would reach for often. On other, just based on some of the other Kilchoman I have or I've tasted over the years. That it's good. It's a fun whiskey, but I would be happy with having a glass or two. I don't think I'd buy a bottle of that one if I got to sample it prior.
Oh, so you're losing?
Apparently. To be fair, this was not part of my lineup. I didn't think that.
No.
I thought we were going with the Founder's Cask #1, which I know would have blown some socks off there. I think a great bottle.
To be honest with you, I mean, I love my Kilchoman. I've tried many. You've sent me many samples. I like that ripe, like Tim said, ripe, and I was saying like that pear. I was even getting more banana now that I taste it more. It's really, really good bourbon flavors in here, like that vanilla almost as well. Very classic bourbon Kilchoman. I like it, but it is not my favorite. I think I would go with the 100% Islay over this one personally.
Sure, even just their limited. Yeah, absolutely, I would agree.
All right.
Well, y'all want to move on to the next? Anybody else have any comments on this guy?
Do you guys still want to do points or a little scoring like me and you discussed?
Yeah, if we will. Yeah,
we
can. So Eddie and I were talking, kind of, shooting shit back and forth, and we were thinking it might be kind of fun if everybody just kind of ranks these individually, on a scale of like 1 to 10, just kind of give it a point to what you think. 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, and then
I think we should. Yeah, I think we should do your favorite, rate it 1 to like your favorite 1, 2, 3 of Kilchomans, 1, 2, 3 of Octomores, but then also give them the 1 to 10 points, so you can get the total points at the end and see what wins. I mean, we're not competing here, right, Travis?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, not even a little bit, eh?
No.
Nope.
Not at all. So yeah, I mean, if everybody wants to just keep a 1 to 10 score for this first dram.
Yeah, let's do it. And then I'll expect my bottle in the mail there before too long there, Eddie.
Well, we never discussed what's the prize, but
no, we'll
that's what
figure
we're
it out.
going with, and I like
We'll
it.
figure that.
I like it.
So all mine are going to get 10s.
Mm-hmm. Of course. 11s.
I'll be fair. All right. All right. Let's go to the next guy, I think. So this one is a Founder's Cask. This is, I believe, Mike, I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first Founder's Cask, cask #1. This one was selected by Kathy Wills, the wife of Anthony. founder of Kilchoman. It is a sherry cask, 54.4% ABV, 643 bottles. On the back of the box, I don't know if you have a slide or anything, or I think even on the back label it says, was it the Paul Roger portfolio? Basically, that's the distributor in the UK that they use. And that was the distinction that she put on the label, that it was selected for that portfolio. This one was distilled in 2008 and bottled in 2018. So about a 10-year, give or take a month or two. I think it might just be under a month of being a full 10 years. But this one, you can really, that sherry just pops on this guy. This is great. I love the nose on this one. You got a bottle there, Reg? What you're pulling up? Yeah. I guess I could have pulled mine out too. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, don't pull yours out, Travis.
We're only on dram number 2. Give it some time.
That's not gonna help
Yeah.
anyone, is it? It's too small.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, refill.
It was the first of 5. You're right, buddy.
So yeah, they call it a 9-year because it's just short of the 10-year. So those unfamiliar, the Founders Cask is a series that they decided to do one release every year for 5 years. I believe last year was delayed just because of the bottle shortage and COVID. Each member of the family is going to select a cask and bottle it as part of this series. So far, the very first one, which is this guy, is from Kathy, as I said. The one I thought we were having first tonight, the bourbon cask, that was the second release. That was selected by George, who's the oldest son of the family, which, as Reggie mentioned, that bourbon cask, Founders number 2, is a great bottle.
Mm-hmm. It's probably one of my favorite Kilchomans, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. It's gone, but I love it.
What's everybody like on this one? I love this, the sherry and that peat, and the rest of these that we're tasting tonight are all going to be the standard, the Port Ellen 50 ppm. So they're all going to have the higher phenol levels.
I had mine breathing for over an hour and a half.
Really? That
Thinking
long?
that, yeah, I just, with them being peated and with the Octomores, I was like, you know what, fuck it. But the nose is, I don't know if it's because mine was out for a good chunk of time, but the nose is very restrained on mine.
Okay.
Like excellent, but not punchy like a lot of other.
Honestly, I'm not smelling any peat in this. Like, I'm not getting any of that smoky, peaty flavors. I'm hearing a lot of echo.
Little muted for you.
Yeah. I don't know if that's better. Yeah, there we go. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not getting a lot of peat on the nose.
Maybe a slight sulfur, but like really mastered, not a big sulfur bomb like some Highland Park single cask can be, the bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really faint one.
To me, there's some minerality to it, like if you're striking flint, the sherry is like very intricately woven through the spirit. It's not overwhelming in my estimation, and the peat comes in after after mid palate on the way into the finish, that's when I get this sweep of peat, fire, and ash, creosote.
Yeah, I agree. The peat, the balance between the cask and the peat and all that. I mean, it works very well together. It's neither one of them overpower each other. It's very well balanced. Like you said, it's kind of just woven, kind of walking hand in hand with it. It's really shows off the cask and the spirit itself.
I haven't tasted this one, but I have a bottle of this, and I am fucking stoked that I have a bottle of this, because this is one of those sleeper Kilchomans, in my opinion, that like you get something at the beginning on the nose, and it is complete. It returns with a completely different palate all the way through. It's very. I find it really drying too. Like 15 seconds after you've already swallowed, in the back of my, like, underneath my tongue, I can feel it drying out, which is, I'm not saying it's bad or good. It's just interesting.
I think it's really like how you said, it kind of takes you through the journey on that nose. For me, at least on my nose, I just get a huge pop and waft of that sherry, and I'm expecting a huge bomb when you take that first sip, and it's just not there. It's just kind of like it just rests along with it. It's just kind of along for the ride once it hits your tongue and through that mid palate.
Yeah, I wasn't getting any peat on the nose, but then as soon on the palate, I got that nice hit of peat right there. But I was getting like very subtle. I don't want to say like a plum, but a red dark fruit in a way, with that peppery. I don't know how to describe it. Like maybe even a pomegranate.
Interesting. Yeah, that's one thing. At least, again, everybody's palate's different, so I don't think anybody can ever be wrong on when you throw something out on what you're tasting or what you're experiencing. It's all completely individualized to what you're experiencing. And I will say, for me, on a Kilchoman, that's one of the huge differences I've noticed, Eddie, is that the ppm, the levels are really high. 50 is high for a core expression, much higher than most people would expect, but you don't get that medicinal smoke campfire peat. It's more of just like a really clean earthy wet grass. Just it's completely different, and I enjoy that much. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my Lafroigs and things like that, where you get just that kind of funk and medicinal rubber bands and rubber, but this is just something completely different.
I'm trying to compare it to a Port Charlotte, because the same peat levels, and you're right. I mean, this is completely different animal than a Port Charlotte. The Port Charlotte, you get more of that hit you in the face of that, peat iodine. This, so far, both trams that we've had today, the nose has been completely different than the palate on both of them.
Yes, sir.
Which is very interesting, very cool. You're not getting more points necessarily.
Come on, keep talking it up, Eddie. You're doing a good job.
You're not getting any points necessarily. If anything, you're losing points. Oh, Russell showed up.
Russell's here.
Oh,
hey guys, sorry.
Hey.
I'm
Does that mean
here.
Travis is dead?
I bailed on poor Travis. Sorry, brother.
That's all right. I've been stood up before, man.
How's it going?
It's okay.
Well, Eddie's kind of scared.
Kilchoman's
No, I'm not
being
scared. I was feeling like I was being ganged up on. You got Reggie with Kilchoman forever. You got Mr. Whiskey Nerd over here. I have nobody backing me up, man.
So
Tim
he
is
swapped
not
out the
taking my
first round.
side. I
He
thought
screwed it
Tim was
over.
gonna back me up.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
You know.
You know I got you.
Nando's got you backed up.
Nando got my back on the chat. He's striking
for
right
sure.
back on the chat. I see that.
That's funny.
I always got you, Eddie.
Again, love this whiskey. It's a phenomenal whiskey, in my opinion. I like this one a
Well
lot.
crafted.
All right. Any final comments on this? Russ, you want to play some catch up and jump in, or you good to go?
Yeah, we're just this is the second one, third one.
This is
We just
second.
mixed them all together.
Okay. I'm having a hard time. Who made these labels? Jesus.
Yeah.
See?
Someone under 40.
Wow.
Somebody under 40 and with better lighting than what you got now right now.
Whoever it is fired.
Right.
All right, we gonna get some ratings here for
A second,
for
yeah.
the Founder's Cask.
Russell, since you joined us, we're kind of doing what we were talking about. Eddie and I were talking about. We're going to rate each dram 1 through 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, and then rate your favorite of those in order 1, 2, 3 as well. And then we're going to do a running tab and see at the very end what it looks like and go from there.
I like it.
Adam just gave it an 86. I think we're gonna win.
86 out of 10. That's it.
Love it.
All right.
I'll
Except
give it up,
Fibonacci,
then.
Mike.
I'm just...
Now I got to do math too. Fuck.
All right, we're
But
ready to move
by
on.
the
Any
time
final
we get
comments
to
on
those
that? Anybody got
Octomores,
anything?
we'll forget about those tallies, and it'll just be about drinking. Hey,
Exactly. All right. So since the screen sharing isn't working here, I'll just read off my slides. So next up here is the Kilchoman Founder's Cask 3rd edition. So this was distilled on May the 17th, 2012, bottled on the 27th of November 2020. For you math nerds out there, that means it's 8 years old. This cask, yeah, you got it, Trav. You got it, buddy. This comes from Cask 265/2012. So it started its life in a bourbon cask and then was finished in red wine. The ABV is 56.4, and this is one of 241 bottles.
I just want to tell you, Mike, that I do see everything on the screen. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah, I
Oh,
see
the screen
this one.
share's working
I
now?
didn't see the last
Yes.
one. I didn't see. I see this one though.
Yeah.
Well,
I did like your reading.
Yeah, it's definitely working.
I did like your reading them. If you want to keep reading them, I'm okay with that. But
Well, I mean, nobody else had to read, so I guess we all win, right?
I'll
All right,
add a little
Trav,
bit.
take it away, buddy.
I'm going to add a little bit that I don't see on here. So Peter, the youngest son, this was his cask that he selected, and the finish on it was for 12 months. So it spent 7 years in a bourbon cask, and then another additional 12 months in the red wine.
Nice.
I don't know what region. I don't know the red wine. I don't know anything outside of that. And if you're unfamiliar, Kilchoman does all their bourbon casks. They have a direct relationship, kind of a handshake deal to this day with Buffalo Trace. So they source all their bourbon casks from Buffalo Trace, ship them whole, wet, straight from Buffalo Trace over to Kilchoman, the distillery on Islay, and they fill them directly from there. Which I think helped really lends some of that huge profile. Like you were saying, someone was saying earlier, it's got that, I think it was you, Eddie, classic bourbon profile. Like on that first one, you can really taste the bourbon profile on some of their just straight bourbon cask whiskeys. But they're, again, each one is so different. Buffalo Trace itself, I'm not a big bourbon drinker, so I'm not familiar with Buffalo Trace too much, but it obviously works very well with Kilchoman. If you have some of the earlier Kilchomans, the first couple years they were using a Cooper's, they were buying casks, so that there was no. I don't even think they know where some of them came from, or where they were getting some stuff. So there is a distinct difference. But again, like I was saying, I like some of those really early 2006, 2007, 2008 distillate that you get in those early casks is pretty unique and very remarkable what they were able to do in those first couple years. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I love this one. Again, the nose on this is very, very good. It's got a great nose. That's one of those whiskeys I could sit here and nose for
It's
a while.
it's perfumey, definitely.
Yeah, you get that, huh?
This is of the handful of red wine casks that I've had from Kilchoman. This is one of my favorites that I've ever come across, and I probably had like 5 or 6 other red wine casks, not including the STRs. I'm talking just red wine one, and
Right,
this is really dynamic, like a full roller coaster of flavors from early palate all the way to the finish. This is one of those ones where the like, I know Anthony, he loves his STR casks, but there have been some red wine winners out there too, and this is one of them.
Absolutely. So, during Christmas time, I kind of do a fun thing. I'm on Instagram, the Whiskey Nerd. I kind of do a 25 days of Kilchoman, starting at the first of December, and each day I do a new Kilchoman, leading up all the way to obviously Christmas Day, and I do a final opening or a good bottle, whatever, a killer bottle, unicorn for some people, whatever, at the end of those that series. And I did these kind of back to back, and I started noticing a pattern that, and again, not necessarily know if it's true or not, but the first one that Kathy did, again, Kilchoman's very transparent. I mean, obviously you can see when it's distilled and when it's bottled. But the first one, there is no real age statement that they kind of let you know. So it's considered an NAS. And then the second one was done by George, the oldest son, which happens to be a 12-year, the oldest in the series. The third one, which is this one we're drinking now, is from Peter, the youngest of the family, which so far has been the youngest whiskey in the series. The fourth one that was just released this year was done by James, the middle child, and his is a 10-year, which falls obviously between the 8 and the 12-year. So you never ask a woman her age. So you got the NAS, and then you go the youngest son with the youngest whiskey on up. So I'm hoping, that being said, Anthony, when his is released, since he's the last in the family to pick one, we'll get a 16, 17-year-old whiskey, being one of the oldest ones, assuming it's going to be a bourbon, just because I know that's his preference. He does love the STR, as Tim mentioned earlier, but I would love to see a 16, 17-year-old bourbon cask selected by Anthony for the fifth and final release for the family series. I think that'd be something very, very cool and unique. Again, total guess, just kind of noticed a pattern. We'll see if it's true or not. I don't know, but I like to think that.
We all know you have your direct line straight into the distillery.
I'll give him a call tomorrow. I'll find out what his plans are.
The red phone. You don't even have to dial anything. You just pick it up.
When I was putting the slide together, this is the one that I was most excited for.
Yeah, this one, much like Tim, I've tried Kilchoman in several different wine casks or red wine casks, and this one is my favorite. It's garnered the most attention for me as well.
Travis, this is
I've got an example of one of the red wine STRs, so I'm going to head-to-head these two.
There you go. I like it.
Travis, is this the same red wine finish we did for the Kilchoman NWO tasting, or is that a different red wine finish?
It was this one.
All right, cool. Nice. So I can finish the dram. So I guess I can run the sample. Very nice.
We're getting big numbers for this whiskey, boys.
It's a stunner for sure.
This is a good one.
Big numbers rolling in chat.
Nice job picking two there, Travis.
We were going from 1 to 10, but apparently Travis is getting 92s, so he wins.
Who's doing the conversion? I like it.
We need an audit. It's all metric.
It's rigged.
This one too, Tim. I think I get that a little bit of that drying effect on the backside of it. I mean, it's juicy. It's has coats my mouth. I have all that good viscosity, but then it just kind of drifts off, and like you said, underneath the tongue, it just kind of just dries out, which I actually quite enjoy.
Yeah. It makes me want to come back for more.
Exactly. It makes you want to pick up the glass again, which, I mean, from a salesperson standpoint. I'm not selling these, but if I was.
He's selling that whiskey right now. Tim, I know you have more Lotties than Kilchomans back there, Tim. I don't see the collection, but I know you have more Lotties there.
That is true. The official count as of today, because I did take I had a delivery today. We are at 212 Bruichladdich and 125 Kilchomans. There are opens in there too, but these are my two top distilleries.
When my wife gives me shit for the number of Laddies in my shelves, I'll just give her those numbers, Tim.
Feel free to use my insanity as a benchmark. You can name me. I can't give an exact location, but I'm in North New Jersey. You can say this psychopath from North New Jersey has more bottles than me. So you're welcome, all of you.
My benchmark was worse than all of us combined. My benchmark was Derek Mather. I showed my girl Derek Mather's attic. I was
the
like,
Laddie Loft.
That's not fair though, because that's like that's mostly retail.
I set it really high.
If I could write off my whiskey collection as a business expense, we would have major trouble.
We should. I'm just gonna start, Mr. Laddie LLC, and make it like a whiskey club. And this is the members in the whiskey club. I gotta charge you guys $1 to be members because you have to be, and that's it. We start writing off whiskey. I like it. I gotta say, Travis, this is probably my favorite out of the three. I'll probably rank them: the wine, the sherry, and then the bourbon. Even though I really did enjoy the bourbon at first, but the wine was like miles better, and this one is a fantastic dram.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. That's how I rank them as well.
I'm gonna give you a decent rating on this one.
You should.
97.
It was really nice.
No, that's way too high.
Just messing with you.
And it's above 5, so you got to round up. So that's a 10.
All right. Well, we got the scores there. I hope everybody enjoyed the Kilchoman. Eddie, you ready to rock, buddy?
Top that, Eddie. You're up.
All right, let's go, buddy. Let's go. All right, I'm ready, man. We got Octomore, so it's really, really hard to beat, man. This is an amazing spirit. It's like the impossible equation, as they call it right now. It honestly all started as a crazy what if. A few people, Jim McEwen and a few people were drinking in Port Charlotte, and they were like, what if we make the peatiest dram ever? Use the most peated barley and make the peatiest dram ever in a slow trickle distillation process and a very narrow, long-necked still. And here it is. Octomore was born, man. The very first distillation of Octomore was only at like 80 ppm. The crazy part about it is that I have like 3 different answers on when was the exact date of the very first distillation of Octomore. So if you go on the Laddie website, you get the information of the very first Octomore distilled at 80.4 ppm is September 23rd, 2002. But then I emailed Mary McGregor because I was just kind of interested. And Mary McGregor's answer is that the only records that she sees of Octomore is being October 3rd, 2002. Then I was on a tasting with Adam Hannett a few weeks ago, drinking Octomore. And I asked him, I was like, hey man, what do you know about the first distillation date? And he gave me a totally different answer, which is October 23rd, 2002. So they're all within like a month of each other, but we don't have the exact date. But we know that, sometimes in October, September 2002, they made the very first Octomore at 80.4 ppm. Of course, that was in the 1.1. 1.1, they went way higher at 130. Now we're at the 2.1, 140 ppm, 62.5% American oak casks. This is like a classic. The 0.1s are always going to be like the classic benchmark of an Octomore. It's going to be that bourbon cask, that classic Octomore, that good entry level, I would want to say. And there's nothing entry level about Octomore, don't get me wrong, but the 0.1 would be like that beginner. I don't know about you, but I'm smelling a lot of like a burnt leather, iodine, salt. Almost a little, I'm getting the menthol at the very end. A lot of menthol. I don't know about you guys.
I know with this one and some of the other early 0.1s that I've had, there's this fresh cut vegetation. So not necessarily grass, but if you've ever been near like a ski resort when they're clearing the trails early season, they trim all of like the saplings and the shrubs and all that stuff. And
It's
I
like
get that.
pine, right?
Yeah,
Pine.
yeah, there is a pininess for sure.
Pine, I like you were saying, Tim, more like that young pine, the saplings, that green. You can't really break it; it just kind of bends and cracks and releases those oils and aroma.
Yeah, we call those whips in the snowboard and ski world. Whips are brutal if they're not cut down. So I get that. It's such a good, super good call on the young evergreen for sure.
Yeah. I mean, this is a great classic Octomore.
I get some spearmint, not menthol. It's lighter and more nuanced, so it kind of reminds me of spearmint.
Young mint, very young mint, like you said. Yes, it's actually really cool that it's really cool that we like did this, like the Octomore and the Kilchomans together, because Octomore tends to keep their whiskeys at 5 years old. A lot of the Kilchomans are that younger age. So it's really cool that, when Russell told me that, I think he named it at first the Young and the Restless, something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's really cool. That's like spot on. That's a really cool idea.
Is that the people or the whiskey?
We're restless for sure.
I can't speak for Travis, but
I might be. Is Rohit here?
You look
I might be the oldest one on this call then.
Just let us know when it's bedtime.
It's all in the mind, Travis. It's all in the mind.
I got it. I got tomorrow off. I'm good to go.
How many fingers I got, Travis?
9.
How many years old?
Good. We're good.
And 2 + 2 is always 6.
So Nando's saying in the chat that this nose is more like a Port Charlotte, which is interesting. With 140 ppm, it's pretty high. But like, what are we seeing here in terms of the peatiness?
It's mellow.
Yeah, it's actually much
mellow.
deeper than I thought it'd be. It's much more chill. It's not like just in your face as much. The pine is spot on. It's really nice.
And honestly, that's the biggest thing that's crazy about Octomore. It's a very young whiskey with very, very high numbers of ppm, and then like it just doesn't make a lot of sense. You look at it, you're like, this is crazy. It should taste great. It's gonna be an explosion in your face. It's not gonna. It's gonna taste very iodine, very peat, very smoke, and then you taste it, and it's very elegant, very smooth, very how to say it? It has like, it depends on, of course, the cask, but it could be very herbal. It can be very I don't even know how to describe the word, man, but it's super elegant.
So they're all 5 years outside the 10-year release, Eddie?
Yes, except they're mostly all 5 years. There's the 10 years, and then but the 8 series was 8 years. All the 8 series were 8 years.
Gotcha.
And the 10-4 is 3 years.
Yeah,
3 years, yeah.
there was a few 3 years.
No, I don't think there was a few. I think it was only the 10.4 was the 3 year. And then there's the
That's it.
5, the 8. Yeah. And of course, there's, the 12 years with the Event Horizon. And then there's, not sure, the Discovery. What's the age on the Discovery? Do you know, Nando or Tim? How old
I
is
looked away. What was the question?
the Discovery, Octomore?
Oh, that one I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Russ, it's interesting how there's not a lot of talk about the 2.1. I think that probably has to do with the fact that it's pretty overshadowed by the 2.2.
Absolutely.
Nobody talks about the 4.1 either.
Mhm. Absolutely. It's hard when you compare it to, the Orphis or the 4.2. It's really hard. They release those two bottles together. Everybody's going to want to go for that red shiny bottle. Everybody wants that Orphis, and I don't blame them, man. I would take the Orphis over this any day.
Yeah, absolutely. But how about a square box, Octomore? Come on.
I know, it is the only square box Octomore.
The homely square box Octomore.
Well, I guess it means the only Octomore you're ever going to buy without a dented to shit tin.
Well, they dent on the inside pretty good. The plastic that they got on the inside.
Was there a reason why they did square? Was it just because obviously there was stuff before the 2.1, and then they went to square
to make
and then
it
they
look
went back?
fancier. To make it look fancier and more appealing.
It is sexy looking. No one makes a sexier looking bottle than Octomore. It's hard to beat. Right, Eddie?
Yes, absolutely. It's like there's these couple of bottles, man. Like the I was gonna say the Discovery is a great sexy Octomore bottle. The OBA is a great sexy bottle. Just the presence of an OBA is like
They are cool. They are very cool.
Oh yeah, you see that orange OBA, and it's just like,
There's a glow around it, right? There's a glow.
Yeah.
around
just an aura.
it. Let's see if this gains me any points, Travis. Does this gain me any points, guys?
Oh
Just stay here with
shit!
us. Just stay here all
Oh,
day.
snap. Is he popping it?
Yeah, no points unless you crack
Pop
it.
it, pop it, pop it.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, now. Not
No
the
points
OBA.
unless you crack it.
Eddie's saving
I actually have like 3 samples of the OBA sitting right here, so I'll probably have that at the end of the night.
You have to.
I have to. I should.
Eddie's saving that bottle for when he comes to visit me in New Jersey.
Sounds like a good plan.
I'll match it. You know it.
Challenge.
I mean, I can't match an OBA, but I could match an 8.3.
Well, if the OBA comes and gets opened in Hamilton, there could be a yellow submarine involved.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, we're doing more shiny bottles.
I got some Knob Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone in here just said "bin." Done.
The Bentley of bourbons.
Sold.
All right, so we got some scores rolling in for the 2.1. Let's keep them going in the chat, everybody.
I personally suggest having a little bit of water between every Octomore dram just to clear out the palate a little bit. Especially after the 7.3 that we're going to have. That one's definitely going to need some water afterwards because that's going to be a big explosive dram.
I usually just clear my palate with some Port Charlotte between Octomores.
Yeah, that works.
Is that what we're doing next? The 7.3?
Mike, you need to get on the 10 ppm Bruichladdich. Those are the peated palate cleansers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the old silver and copper tubes.
The Resurrection Dram or we Rory. Those are the 10 ppm ones.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I have one of those that just came in today too. Yes, that one just came in the mail today, dude. I haven't even opened the box yet. I can't wait for that bottle. Have you opened that one yet, Tim?
No, but I just got a second, so now I feel comfortable opening it.
Then I need a sample, bud. I have it. It's actually
That's
in the box right here.
that's doable. I have to get through. I've a handful of unpeated Bruichladdich that are open right now, like too many for it to be good. So I have to kick through at least 3 before I open another. But it'll
I'll come over
happen.
to help.
It'll happen before April, I'd say.
I'll come over to help, man. No
March
worries.
is gonna be amazing.
So yeah, I mean the 7.3 is a 63% alcohol. I think you went a one too many, Mike. You went to the 12.2.
My
Go
bad.
back. You're good.
Oh, no slide.
There we go.
There we are.
All right. So the 2 white bottles, the 2 white Octomore bottles, the 6.3 and the 7.3. I just love that white tin as well. That one is like a nice fancy looking
It's
bottle. But anyways, so peated at 169 ppm. This is actually the second release of what they like to call the Octomore of Octomore, which is a 100% Islay. Came from the Octomore farm from of course James Brown's farms. That's like just north of the Port Charlotte town. This specific field is called Lorgba Field. So it's really cool that they're actually harvesting the barley just like 2 miles up the road from the distillery. Well, technically down the road from the distillery. This one was spent most of his life in bourbon barrels, and then at the end he was married with Ribeiro del Duero wine casks. This one is actually a very explosive dram. This is actually, I want to say, one of my top 5 Octomores. I've been fortunate enough to try almost every Octomore, and this one is a very, very good Octomore. This is a fantastic dram. From the nose, I'm smelling a lot of like honey and herbs, and I'm getting mint again in the back of the nose. A lot of maybe apricot.
I get like a creme brulee,
Yeah.
like a
Very
French
sweet, yeah.
French vanilla cheesecake kind of a
Mhm.
situation.
It has that mostly, all of that bourbon character, and it has just that little bit of finish of the red wine, that Spanish red wine, which gives it that little nice fruity flavors and a little bit of pepperiness. This was, of course, the processor of the 6.3, which was a very hard bottle to beat as well. The 6.3 was an amazing dram. I think we had that in Monsters of Islay 1. And that was a awesome dram.
This is really nice.
I get some like cantaloupe on the palate.
Mhm.
Have you ever had the fruit salad called ambrosia? It has coconut and sour cream and mandarin oranges.
That's cool. Yeah. I definitely see that, man. I'm getting a lot of vanilla, pear, again, not herbal flavors. A lot of also like smoked meat at the back end. It has that big smoky flavor at the very back end. It's not very explosive. Again, like you would think 169 ppm, that's gonna be insane, And you kind of smell it on the nose, but then when you taste it, that classic Octomore of very elegant, very good dram, man. It's not. It's something that shouldn't. It's the impossible equation. So that's what I like to keep calling it. I know Travis doesn't like it, but
It's good.
that's what we're sticking with.
I do enjoy this for sure.
Have you had the 7.3 before, Travis?
Just in the first sample that we did, that first Monsters of Islay.
Okay, the 6 point. So you had the 6.3.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, no, I never had this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So the 6.3 is a great one. It's I think that one was 269 ppm, so it had like 100 ppm more. That one was the very first 0.3, which was the 100% Islay barley series. which they like to call also the Octomore of Octomores. If you ever hear that Octomore of Octomores, at first I thought that was a little confusing until I started reading and learning more about it, and it's like Octomore of Octomore, kind of confusing, but yeah. Basically, it's going back to they got the name Octomore from the farms of James Brown's farms right down the road, and Octomore in Gaelic actually means the big 8.
Okay.
So, and I'm guessing that his farm was kind of shaped as an 8, so it was called the Octomore farm. That's my guess. I don't really have much information about that, but
I will say I may have a bottle of 6.3 sitting on a shelf somewhere.
Say it again.
I may just have a bottle of 6.3 unopened sitting on a shelf.
That's a great bottle to have, dude. That's an amazing bottle to have.
That's one worth cracking.
Afterwards, yeah.
So I was reading earlier that so Octomore Farm has been on Islay for centuries. It's been there forever. And way back in the day, before whiskey became a real industry in Scotland, they were all farm distilleries.
Yes.
So the farmers would, they'd grow the barley, they'd sell most of it, they'd distill whatever was left over, make some whiskey for themselves and for their buddies around, and that's how it went. So from what I could see, Octomore Farm did have a distillery back in the 1700s, and it was the first distillery on Islay to register for excise taxing. So I thought that was kind of interesting because, Octomore is a relatively new whiskey from Bruichladdich based on what we're familiar with. But to think that name for that distillery goes back so very far into the history of Islay and Scotland overall, I thought that was pretty cool.
When did they start the series? If you said it, I missed it. When did they start Octomore series?
2002 was the very first distillation of Octomore. Somewhere between September and October of 2002.
But that was the Futures, though, right, Eddie? That was the Octomore Futures.
Yes, that was
the actual 1.1 yet.
Yep, absolutely. The 1.1 was distilled in 2003.
Okay.
So
I just got to say, we are blessed to have both you, Eddie, and Travis, just true diehards, and Mike for that matter, just diehard fans of these distilleries. Not paid by anybody, just diehards.
I like Bruichladdich just a little bit.
You do, yes, I've heard, but thank you guys for doing this.
Of
Absolutely,
course, man.
thank
It's a
you.
pleasure. Thank you for having us, man.
There's something about having somebody that's not necessarily paid by the distillery to talk about it. Just talk about their passion and unbiased opinions.
I mean,
it's very rare, although yes. Although you sometimes can get an unbiased opinion from an ambassador, but 100% of the time you can from an unpaid ambassador. So thank you, gents.
My next tasting
for us is going to be.
I gave Travis a good fair score today.
Yeah, I'm doing the same.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I might give him a score on his appearance as well after changing the shirt. I
can't wear a Kilchoman shirt while I'm drinking this.
Wow!
I'm even drinking out of Kilchoman Glencairns. If you notice, I didn't do that with my Kilchoman.
Oh, so there's a code of conduct. Is that what's going on?
That's Travis. We won't tell Sam Filmus that you're wearing a Bruichladdich shirt.
It sounds like Travis has some black art going on right now.
He set me up, man. He set me up. He made me wear the Laddich shirt for Kilchoman's, and now he changed his shirt.
A shirt change.
I was like, I'm just gonna wear the NWO shirt, and he's like, "Sucker, I'm wearing the Kilchoman." Literally with the in caps, sucker.
All right. Well, we got some big scores coming in the chat there for the 7.3. A lot of 9s, couple 9.5s.
Yeah, it's not 92
now.
It's not 92, but close enough, I guess.
Barzy with the 88.
There you go. Sorry, Fat.
Yeah, Nick, tell us what you got, man.
All right. So the final one, I actually would like if everyone would drink some water before we have this one. This one is gonna be the most delicate, the most elegant of the drams that we had, the lowest ppm, and actually the lowest ABV as well. So this is I consider this basically like a dessert dram. This is the 12.2 Sauternes cask. It's spent 3.5 years in ex bourbon casks and then 18 months in Sauterne finish. 5 years old, of course, just like almost all the other Octomores. This one is the processor of the 4.2, which is the famous Camus Octomore, the best Octomore there is, in my opinion. Of course, the OBA.
Orpheus may have something to say to you, Eddie.
You know.
Eddie, where do they get their bourbon casks, or does it vary? I want to say I saw Jack Daniels on a couple labels. I don't know if they vary them from series to series, or
they don't necessarily vary. Yeah, they're. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
I was just gonna say, I know for a fact they've used Heaven Hill, they've used Buffalo Trace, they've used Jack Daniels, they've used Jim Beam family. They source pretty aggressively across the bourbon zone.
Yeah.
I think I feel like may have seen Angel's Envy in there too, but there's a good spread, and obviously all of that is going to factor in too, and depending on the spirit also. Like they definitely they mess around cask wise more so than Kilchoman does on the bourbon.
Absolutely. I haven't seen the Heaven Hill one, but I know you're saying the Jack Daniel, the Jim Beam, the Buffalo Trace. I've seen all of those. I know a lot of cask exploration. There's a whole cask exploration series that Bruichladdich does with the Port Charlottes and Bruichladdich as well. They're very big on trying out different casks, and there's probably 50 different. No, I think there was like 30 some different bottles in the cask exploration. If you get the Valanches, there's so many different casks that I can't even count, man. It's crazy. And to be honest with you, I think Bruichladdich is like a collector's nightmare because you can never have all the bottles because there's so many bottles and they keep just putting out so many more. And I think Jim McEwen was just pumping them out, man. He was just pumping them out and just like, collect this, motherfuckers, But anyways,
I would say Kilchoman is kind of in that same realm.
Yeah.
Every time you look, they got something new coming out, different cask type, different market, single
can't
cask.
keep up.
Ridiculous.
Can't keep up, man. It's like it's like I talked to Tim the other day and he's telling me about these bottles. I'm like, dude, I've never even heard of these. And I thought I knew like, at least, I don't even know probably 80% of the bottles that exist, It's crazy.
It does not stop me from trying though.
No. One day I'm gonna have them all. But going back to this one, this one has that little like amber type of color, I want to say. On the nose, I'm getting a lot of melon, like this honeydew melon, maybe even like almonds, oak, peach, possibly. I don't know if you guys are getting that as well.
I'm gonna throw.
The chat is blowing up over here.
I'm gonna throw a weird one in there. I'm gonna say like a smashed avocado.
Smashed avocado.
Interesting.
Even though I can't taste anything tonight, I do have a bottle of this, and going back through my notes, I get peaches, nectarines, and crushed orange-flavored vitamin C tablets.
Okay.
I do have to say real quick, I do like my Instagram tags that you guys are making up for me right now.
Oh, that's some good stuff in there.
Just keep it coming, guys.
I get a little bit of Flintstones vitamins on the nose too. Scope that out.
That's a nice pull. That's a nice pull.
Yeah, I find with anything in a Sauternes cask, I get that orange vitamin C tablet kind of vibe in on the nose and usually in the palate as well.
Again, when I drink this is like a dessert dram for me. It's very sweet fruit. Has also that lemon zest at the back end. I don't know if you guys are getting that. Maybe even like ripe fruits. A lot of sweetness. Maybe actually the opposite. Some the lemon zest in the front, and then the sweetness comes back at the end. Sure, what more have to do with this? Agree. Also, not a big Bowmore fan.
That's like the least Octomore I've ever had.
That's the least. I'm sorry.
The least Octomore I've ever
Oh,
had.
wow. Yeah, it's
you don't
very
expect
very
that.
mellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very very mellow. Again, it's a very elegant. It's very again, it's a dessert. I feel like this is a very dessert. Honestly, they're trying to keep up with the 4.2, and a 4.2 was really really hard to keep up with. I wish we can get another 4.0, or I wish we can all have 4.2s right now to be drinking. But unfortunately, it was a lot harder to source. But this is a good number 2 for it. I would say this is a good number 2 for it. Is it my top 5 Octomores? Probably not, but I would drink this. I would drink this every day. I'm okay with it. I mean, personally, I don't think we had a single bad dram tonight. I don't know about you guys, but
I don't think so. I think maybe I had a little bit higher expectations for the 2.1, but I don't know. I don't know what I was really truly expecting from one of their early releases. I knew the 7.3. I'm a little disappointed the 7.3 didn't absolutely crush everything, but I don't know who's tallying these scores.
I think the 7.3 is probably the best out of the Octomore, the 3 Octomores that we've had tonight.
Geez, I quite like this 12.2, and I feel like if a guy was to own this bottle and it opened up, you know how the evolution of a bottle of Octomore is. I feel like this 12.2 could be phenomenal.
And you're absolutely right, Russ. I've had mine open for 2 months, and the difference is incredible. But I mean, that's Octomore. That's what it does.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I try adding a little bit of water to it, and
definitely sweet. I get that.
What water makes it a lot more sweeter, man. If you add that little bit of drop of water,
I almost get like a. You guys, are you familiar with runts? Those candied runts.
Runts.
One of those like a weird lemon or banana runt mixture, or maybe a fun dip. I don't know. I get candy.
If you have a little bit left, just add that little bit of drop of water. I'm telling you, that sweetness comes out so much more. And I'm getting so much more of that honeydew melon right now, like crazy honeydew melon.
Now, is this when they're where they get the Sauternes cask from? Do you know anything on that at all, by chance? Do they advertise that?
Unfortunately, not on this one. No. I actually prefer. I like this dram more with water than without water. No. Yep. Did someone say the 7.3 will be easy to find? I'd like to know where they're finding it because I'm gonna go find it too.
Yeah, that was sarcasm.
Yeah, I know. There's actually quite a few of 7.3 on auction if you are a fan of auction houses, but you can usually get a 7.3 on auction. It's there quite often. And the 12.2, you can actually, usually the 0.2s are travel exclusive, but ever since COVID, they stopped doing the travel exclusive because not a lot of people are traveling to the airport, so not a lot of duty-free buying. So now the 0.2s are being sold on the website.
Do you think that's something they'll continue to do even as things start to open up, or because of the success of people being able to get them?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. It was actually brought up as well, like 2 weeks ago when we were having that Adam Hannett tasting, and he said the same thing, that he thinks that this is gonna be the new normal, basically. Yep. Unfortunately, I mean, I do like going to duty free and getting surprised with a bottle of, MC Port Charlotte or a 0.2 Octomore to bring home, But
yeah, I will say Kilchoman's travel exclusives are nothing special at all.
No,
I
don't think I've ever seen a Kilchoman travel exclusive.
I might have one somewhere.
I'm sure you do.
Anybody
I don't
has
know.
one,
I don't think they've done like maybe two. I want to say Cole Point, and I can't remember what the other one was off the top of my head.
It's a Loch Grunart.
Okay, is that the one that was it for
It's there were three. There was Sligo Bay, Loch Grunart, and the one previously mentioned, I forgot already.
Have you had any of those, Tim?
So I have had a sample of the Grunart. I was not particularly blown away by it.
Yeah.
So
now that was I know you said that's travel exclusive, but was that more? I thought that was like for the they maybe even released that just for the French market at one point as well.
Yeah, there was definitely. I think one of those was there first, possibly, and then maybe they had some leftovers that they chucked into the duty freeze. Cause I think I bought the Sligo Bay that I have possibly from Fine Drams. It was either the Loch Grunart or the Sligo Bay. I have one of each of those. Just because I'm a completionist and I have to have all the shit for a set. But yeah, the sample I had firmly put it in a this is for later type of a scenario. It didn't hold up.
Pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, it didn't hold up to like a standard Mocker Bay, so I was like not fucking with it further.
You have a cool point. Cool Point, however you pronounce it, and it's nothing fancy.
That was the other one.
Yeah, I would reach for Maher Bay all day over that thing.
and I feel like the cask strength Mocker Bays are easy enough to get your hands on. So why would you not just do that when they're in my opinion they're at least three on a true 100 scale, they're 3 to 4 points better at least than the standard vatting. So I agree. It kind of is like it was one of those things where I was like, these bottlings are out there. I feel like I have to dive in and figure it out. And now here we are.
I agree.
I'm just reading the chat, Travis, and so far seems like I'm winning, bud. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I want to recount.
I'm doing the scores right now. I'm just doing the scores right now, everybody.
Am I supposed to submit my scores too? I haven't been submitting anything.
Well, no, you're not allowed to submit any scores, dude.
Right?
There's just gonna be 11, 11, 11, 1, 1, 1. I already know.
Not very fair.
I have the scores. I'll have them in the chat shortly.
Travis?
Yes,
What was
sir.
your favorite dram tonight?
My
Being all
favorite,
fair and being fair.
my favorite was the Kilchoman red wine. That was my favorite.
I'm honestly between the red wine and the 7.3 as well.
7.3 was my second.
Yeah.
7.3
Yeah,
was
those
my
two
second
are
for
awesome,
sure.
man.
I will say the
Those are
Honestly,
Kilchoman-
Eddie, I feel like if any other day, I feel like the 7.3 should have came out on top. If I was just pour a 7.3 any other day, there's no way it loses. But that red wine just stood out a little bit more today for some. I don't know why it is, because when I put this tasting together, I thought nothing can beat this 7.3. But there's something about that red wine that was just
It's well done.
outstanding. They were all. They were all
I
winners to
basically
me,
gave
but
for sure.
I gave that red wine a score of 8.6, which is pretty high. You know, like I think I would rate the 7.3 about like 8.5, 8.4, but yeah, I gave that wine cast 8.6, which is a really good. That first bourbon cask, as much as I enjoyed it at first, I felt like it was very washed out.
That was my least favorite of the night. Was that bourbon class Kilchoman, and I love Kilchoman and bourbon.
here comes the smack talk.
That just did not do it for me. I didn't like it.
Of course, you know, nobody likes that Kilchoman. I get it.
Now, had we had Founders number 2 that I thought we were having,
Oh, yeah.
I don't care. I don't want to hear excuses. This is what we have. This is what we're dealing with.
Wait, Travis, you got to answer honestly, though. Are you going to miss Russell being the big spoon or what?
I was looking forward to it. Damn it. It's always next year.
So I think Mike got the average scores. All right, let's see. Bourbon.
I didn't submit any of my scores, though.
The
I didn't
scores
submit
are in
any
the
scores
chat,
either,
everybody. The average scores for each of the whiskeys, along with the overall average. It was close.
We don't get a vote.
Travis. You know my address. That's it. You know my address. You know my address. We're done.
You all disappoint me.
Reggie, I'm disappointed in you too, buddy. Just so you know, especially in you.
I feel
Reggie,
like you need to throw out one of your scores because he didn't even know what his whiskey was until 10 minutes before the presentation. And I tell you, that Founders Cast would have been up there in the high 8s, maybe the 9s. That is a
Reggie,
banging dram.
Don't support him, Reggie.
Did you submit your scores, Eddie?
I didn't submit no scores. No.
Okay. All right, then that's fair.
No.
Those are all the scores out of the chat. Everything that was submitted.
No, I actually wrote my scores down on a piece of paper.
I did too.
Yeah, I put them in Excel. I didn't know we were doing it in the chat. Whatever, it's fine. Doesn't matter.
And I have all those scores written down if we need to do a forensic audit later.
Wow.
We're also good at math.
I'll post mine honestly, Eddie, just so you know. And let me rank all 6 drams in order that I like them as well, as opposed to just by Kilchoman and Octomore. Let's see.
That's fine. I can put my ratings in.
Yeah. I'm just curious.
I'm just gonna put them in the order.
Are you gonna rank Kilchoman 1, 2, 3 and Octomore 1, 2, 3, or all 6 1 through 6?
I'm just gonna put the rating first. This rating, you know, first.
I got you.
Second, 7.4. Third. I'm sorry. We're just nerding out at this point. I think me and Travis.
All right, well, I'm going to jump in here and thank everybody for joining us. I see that we're at 9:37 here. I am going to go ahead and stop the recording. That doesn't mean anybody got to go. We still got some whiskeys. We're still all here. So this is just the recording stopping. Thanks for joining.